Ninjago isn't perfect. Yeah, I know, big shocker. Some adults get an existential crisis when they start doing taxes or trying to figure out how to eat the next day, but me, once I grew conscious enough to realize Ninjago has terrible writing qualities, I haven't been the same man since. Despite that, when someone tells me to name a bad episode of the show, nobody does that, but when I think about it, not many answers come to mind. Sure, a few contenders come to mind, like one I've talked about on this channel already, like United We Fall, the episode with possibly one of the worst set integrations in the entire series, where the ninja get framed and banned from the games, only for them to just have to race their way out of exile. Like, the race isn't even that hard, bro, really? That's all it takes? But while I would consider that the worst episode of Dragon's Rising, that's only because Dragon's Rising is so short, and I wouldn't consider it the worst in the series because it leads to Eren and Roz meeting in the room and having one of the best scenes in Ninjago to date. Okay, well what about Crystallized episode 30 Roots? You know, it has the "it's okay she's with us" line. That's gotta be the worst. Yeah, while that's definitely up there, I still wouldn't consider it the worst, as elements of it are still pretty awesome to see. But even before I think of those, I already know the answer to the question, so I don't even know why I go that far. And I think you all know which episodes too. And it's just so weird because these episodes are all bundled up next to each other. As by themselves, I don't think they're necessarily terrible. It's just the fact that it was just a segment of episodes of just pointless filler, and it just feels like a complete waste of time, if anything. And even funnier, it's back when many claim it to be the golden age of Ninjago, when Ninjago was good. Only good episodes, the good designs of the characters, back when Ninjago was a Christian show and had absolutely no implied gay representation. None whatsoever. We all know the story.
Long before...
In 2011, LEGO killed Bionicle and made Ninjago, with the promise of 2 seasons and a final battle between good and evil from the mysterious and legendary Green Ninja. The show had a few arcs. Season 1 had half a Serpentine Awakening arc, then a Great Devourer arc. Then Season 2 has a Stone Army arc, which leads into the final battle arc. But there was one more arc that I don't even know how to give a name, because these episodes are just nothing. Like, I guess it's a Lloyd's training arc, but even then that's debatable because these episodes aren't really about Lloyd's training, and there's basically no continuity between these episodes. They basically feel like a Saturday morning cartoon where nothing really happens, nor do they matter to the overall story. I don't even hate this concept, as I think the idea is pretty genius, as we get to follow Lloyd's journey into becoming the Green Ninja, coming to grips that he's not a child anymore and has to get ready to face his father. So having more slice of life episodes that are focused on Lloyd's training, with maybe a wacky adventure or two along the way, isn't that bad of an idea. It's just that, well, like I said, nothing happens. I got my friends to watch Ninjago about a few years ago, and when we got to these episodes, we just got so annoyed and just skipped all of them. And to properly illustrate why, we'll have to go through each episode one at a time and see what I like and don't like about each episode. So let's do that. But before we do that, this video is sponsored by me. Nobody has offered to sponsor me yet besides AI chatbot companies, especially that one. Oh, I'm not gonna say your name, but stop emailing me! But I just wanted to say that soon after this video's launch, I'll be doing a full retrospective on another classic LEGO series, Legends of Chima. You remember Legends of Chima, right? Yeah, of course you do. So if you're at all interested in that, make sure to subscribe so we can delve into the world of Chima. Maybe it's as good as you remember, or it's worse, who knows? Anyway, let's start with Season 2, Episode 1. And I gotta be honest, after the amazing finale that was Season 1, Day of the Great Devourer, where the ninja had to surrender the golden weapons to Lord Garmadon to stop Ninjago City from being the Great Devourer's lunch, I did not expect the ninja spirits to become so down. Because the Great Devourer sliced the Destiny's Bounty in half, and the ninja have no money. They resort to taking the sweet with a ninja training dojo for some reason, but like I said, they have no money. They can't afford it. So the writers have the ninja resort to desperate measures to make rent. You see, the ninja, they go to certain companies. They work for them, no matter the position, so long as they get in there. Then they just go there, do the work, gain their trust.
But how do they get the money?
That's the beauty of it. They deposit the money right into their bank accounts. Week after week, month after month, they just keep giving them the money. They won't even know what's happening. Then, 20 to 30 years later, they could just walk out like nothing even happened.
Mother, that's called a job!
Ah yes, the legendary masters of spinjitzu, the epic ninja, with feats as epic as creating the tornado of creation, creating vehicles with golden weapons. We have to watch them get a job? I don't want to see that. Real life jobs suck. I'm here to escape reality. The only thing unrealistic about this episode is how fast they were able to find jobs. It takes people months to find a job, and here it is, it just takes a montage. But you know, as funny as this episode sounds, it's not too bad. I would honestly say this is one of the best out of these episodes, as it shows that you don't need the greatest things in life. You can live in a dinky apartment just as long as you do it with friends. So if you're a loner and you're still broke, then you might as well die. Meanwhile, Garmadon takes control of the Serpentine away from Scales and somehow fixes and turns the Destiny's Bounty into the Black Bounty. It's literally never explained how he was able to do this. And I know you're gonna say something, but just hold that thought. Give me a few minutes. Put a pin there. I think the jobs the ninja do wind up getting are interesting. Jay is a pizza delivery guy, Cole's a bank guard, Zane's a cook, and Kai's a human piñata. And of course, they all get fired when the snakes rob the bank. No room for error, just as soon as they mess up, they get fired. Much like a diner that gave you and when you get better, they tell you don't come back just yet and wait a little longer, and they never call you back, but not like that happened. I think Cole is the most messed up though, because sure, he does sleep on the job, but the snakes dig into the vault underground and steal the money. He wakes up as soon as the alarm goes off, and by the time he gets to the vault, they just left, and yet they still fire him. That's so cruel. This is too realistic. But something that always bothered me about this episode was that Jay was taken by the Serpentine and tied up in the subway. And there's this really tense part where the train is approaching him, but it's like, just jump to the side. Look how much space there is between the train and the wall. Overall, not a bad start. Scales gets thrown in jail after trying to kidnap Lloyd, and Garmadon combines the golden weapons to create the mega weapon, where then Master Wu makes an out-of-pocket reference to a certain franchise.
I fear there is a great disturbance in the Force.
But so far, as filler as it is, this episode's not too bad. But like we're gonna see, combined with the other episodes, it just makes it worse. So let's head in to the next episode. Yeah, this episode's a lot worse. The only thing this episode has is Lloyd learning spinjitzu and creating a light ball. There, I just spoiled the episode. You can all go home now. That's a little harsh, but honestly, that's all it's got. Except for Destiny's Bounty lore, it was apparently a pirate ship for Captain Soto that crashed. Riveting. Garmadon embarrasses himself in front of the Serpentine because he can't figure out how the mega weapon works, but accidentally creates the pirate crew of Captain Soto, which makes him conclude that the mega weapon has the power to create and not to destroy. This is what I wanted to bring up because I know people would try to say that Garmadon used the weapons to recreate the Destiny's Bounty, but how could he do that if he didn't know that the golden weapons combined into the mega weapon could create? In fact, how come he doesn't know that the weapons can create when the first Ninjitsu master created the golden weapons to literally create Ninjago? That seems fairly logical even for Garmadon. Well, anyway, the pirates somehow get all the Serpentine thrown in. Man, Garmadon, these guys suck. Maybe you should have just let Scales keep the Serpentine. Okay, I lied. There's one thing that actually is important. The ninja, realizing that they can't train Lloyd in a dinky apartment, start looking around Ninjago City to see if there's a better place. Luckily, there just happens to be a dojo hosted by Dareth. Probably one of the most infamous characters from like the entirety of Ninjago. Like even the meat writers of Ninjago seasons 1 and 2 hate this guy. And I am not one of those people. Yeah, I hated Dareth when I was a kid, but I grew to really love him when I accepted that the show can, in fact, be stupid and not just a serious cartoon with edgy characters. Everybody hates on Dareth, but he's literally just the chillest dude on the planet. I'm a Roby fan, which is basically the Dareth of Dragon's Rising, but I'd say even Dareth is less annoying than Roby is. I'm honestly kinda glad that he never wound up being the brown ninja despite his many attempts. As much as these episodes suck, Dareth really was the best thing to come out of these episodes, and that's just a fact. So anyway, he gets his butt whooped by Kai and he gives the dojo to the ninja. I'm guessing without any rent or anything. Again, why do people hate this guy again? The ninja find out that Lloyd can harness all of the ninja's elemental powers, which I kind of forgot about, as that was very quickly retconned after the reboot, as it didn't really make much sense in the new era of Ninjago. But to be fair, Lloyd honestly never really used their powers very much, and while I think the idea of it was cool and does make sense given that he got the powers from the golden weapons, it just kind of made Lloyd obsessively OP. Just the fact that he had the power of energy, which I'm guessing was a precursor to his power of light he would have had as the Golden Ninja. Having that in addition to being able to wield fire, lightning, earth, and ice was just way too much looking back. The pirates show up and the ninja dress up as pirates but can't save Dareth because it would blow their cover. As such, they literally just let him fall off the plank, and thankfully Ultra Dragon saved him, which the ninja did not know was going to happen. But then immediately after Dareth falls, they just make themselves known, so it's like, what was even the point? Why'd you let Dareth fall? Then they try to hype up this battle between the pirates versus ninja. Even the episode name kind of hypes it up, like this is the battle between pirates versus ninja. Who will win? And it's just like, yeah, who would win? A warrior trained in every martial art and stealth, or a regular human that is literally missing body parts, drunk most of the time, and knows how to steal things kind of well. Yet somehow Lloyd shows up and messes up just enough to get the ninja down, and Nia has to save them. Okay.
Who wins between pirates and ninja? It's samurai!
Ew. Pirates versus ninja is fine. Not great, but fine. Like, the premise is kind of stupid, but at least there are some important bits here and there that kind of justifies its existence. Not a complete waste of time, but just barely reaches there. But now that Garmadon knows how to use his mega weapon, that just means the next episode has got to be good. This is a filler episode, but the next episode has got to be the one where stuff actually happens. And it's not just another boring episode that focuses on a common trope that's been done to death, right? Right, so Garmadon can't think of something that would get rid of the ninja, but figures out the best method is to fight fire with fire and to make doppelgangers of the ninja. Yep, we haven't heard of this plot before. Even got the red eyes to signify which ones are the evil ones. The only thing that would make this more cliche is the whole which one do I shoot at the end of the episode. But you know what? I am actually going to give some credit. A lot of these type of episodes just choose to ignore the fact that their eyes are red and will just talk to the characters and they just don't notice, implying that it's just a thing for the audience and isn't actually a thing in the episode. But either way, it's just still off-putting. I have to give them some credit. They actually put sunglasses on the characters that actually hide the red eyes from the characters they are talking to. I actually fully appreciate that. It's like that is one of the things that always bothers me about these types of episodes, so credit to them for actually addressing that. Still hate the episode though. The ninja don't even fight until like 3/4 the way through the episode. The gang get invited to Darkly's boarding school for bad boys, which was changed to the Darkly's boarding school for great children, but yet the boys are still evil, so they secretly make it the Darkly's boarding school for worst boys. 3 names for this thing, and yet I'm still confused on how a school on how to be evil even exists. What do you do there? If you don't show up for class, do you get an A? If you share a gum with one of your friends, is it considered bullying? Does the principal actually do something about it, unlike real life, or is that like cancel it out? See, I'm asking these questions because I'm so bored with this episode. It's cool to see Lloyd's friends again, and I think the message is really sweet about how the kids are secretly good inside, especially Brad.
It's true. And I love planting flowers. You what?
I don't even care that you're good. You plant flowers, bro. That's gay as fuck.
That's really not cool.
Well, again, remember, this is when, you know, Ninjago was a Christian show. It was against that stuff, I guess. So. The evil ninja are just kind of there. Oh, and by the way, they're called Bizarro variants. Sure, okay. Weirdly, the only one that really has a presence is Jay's Bizarro variant, who Nia sees as a bad boy.
By the way, did I mention that I kissed Nia? What? You did what?
The most disappointing thing about it is how they defeat the evil ninja. They just figure it out. Either if the ninja lands a punch, it defeats them because of positive and negative energy, whatever. That's so lame. Something that this kind of trope tries to do is have the characters look inside themselves and find their weaknesses, which leads to character growth. But this episode doesn't do that. The kids just all dress up as a ninja to confuse the Bizarros.
Ninja, go!
Not only do they have time to sew all these costumes, but how does this confuse the Bizarro variants when they are literally shorter than the regular ninja? This episode is the worst one by far. Like I said, Darkness Shall Rise wasn't all that bad, and Pirates vs. Ninja had at least some important stuff in it. And hey, I like pirates, so sure. But this episode is just so Saturday morning cartoon out of all of these episodes we'd watched so far. The only positive I can give is that I like the kids.
I love kids, Charlie. I love kids.
I walked into that one. Never mind, this episode just sucks. Let's hope our next episode is better. So this one's a racing episode. Sure. Darrett's dojo is at risk of being demolished because he fell behind on some of his payments. $50,000 some. But who bought the place, you may ask?
Darn a gum. When you rearrange the letters, it spells...
Oh, Grandma? No! Garmadon.
You're kidding me, right? I'm sorry. I feel like I know Garmadon pretty well, huge fan, but I never knew the Lord of Darkness was a huge fan of anagrams! That's Garmadon's big plan. Capitalism? Where did Garmadon get the money to purchase the lot? Was he actually gonna make a frisbee dog course? If he was, who was he gonna get to manage it? Cause certainly he wouldn't. Why would Garmadon just assume that if he just bought the dojo, the ninja wouldn't just find another one? If you're willing to go this far, what's stopping you from just pulling up to the dojo and dropping bombs on the place? The ninja hear about the Ninjaball Run, a deadly race with a cash prize of $100,000, so both the ninja and Lloyd with Ultra Dragon enter in the race, and then Garmadon, seeing that they're in the race, just shows up and is in the race now. He races. Okay. As boring and formulaic as this episode is, I at least did appreciate seeing Jay's parents, and they even give them fuel to keep them in the race. Ann and Edna are precious. Jay even gets a part of their vehicle to stick onto the Ultrasonic Raider, so part of it could finish the race, which even allows them to win, which was really nice. I also just love how the Serpentine Generals randomly decide to go get Scales, which just comes out of nowhere, but they use a bus with a guard staring at them at this tower, but they don't stop them, and the police start chasing after them, but then they just start taking part in the race, which is really funny.
I can't shake them! They aren't interested in catching you. Those coppers just want to win the race!
But other than those two things, this episode sucks. I didn't know if it could be worse than Double Trouble, but it somehow is. But hey, at least they got the bounty back, and I don't know, maybe that's a transition piece. The ending of the episode kind of feels like it was the end of an arc, so maybe stuff is finally gonna start happening in these episodes now. Is the video over? No, because there's one more! Guys, stuff happens in this episode. Yes, for real, things actually happen. But first, the ninja get turned into kids. Funny story about this one, actually. You remember when I said earlier that I got my friends to watch this show and we skipped all of these episodes? Well, I had intentions of kind of showing them the first bit of this episode and then just kind of fast forwarding to the end to the actually important bit. But when we got to this episode, two of the people watching actually wanted to watch this one because they really liked the ninja as kids. They thought it was cute. Okay. Nah, it's okay. Compared to the rest of these, at least it's kind of entertaining.
I hated being a kid. You can't drive. Nobody listens to you. Oh no. Bedtime!
The reason for this is really stupid because Garmadon breaks into a museum to use the mega weapon to reverse the age of this dinosaur, the Grundle. What? That's the best you could come up with? You went from pirates to cloning the ninja, buying out their dojo, and then raising a dinosaur? Garmadon, where is your imagination? You fantasize about having the golden weapons for years, and when you finally get them, you just go, I don't know. I never thought I'd get this far. You suck at this. He sucks so hard that when Kai does this super cool move and throws the mega weapon out of his hands, he's just like, oh man. It's like, come on, just grab it and keep going. What are you doing? Anyway, the ninja's age gets reversed because they were standing on the Grundle when it happened.
Yeah, but ninjroids don't turn into kids. Explain that, genius.
I've extended my logic parameters, but nothing is coming up. This does not compute.
And the Grundle barely even shows up. He gets one clip to introduce him, but apparently the Grundle only comes out at night. It's like Batman. So he just shows up at the end of the episode and that's it. But at least the ninja being kids actually has anything to do with anything. Not much, but they are basically now on Lloyd's level. Quite literally. And the joke is actually kind of funny.
And now, every time we try to tell someone, they won't believe us, because we're kids. What's so funny?
Well, I guess you now know what it feels like to be treated differently.
But the best thing about this episode is that Lloyd actually gets some development in this episode. Finally! As it shows the immense pressure Lloyd is under, as he kind of misses just being a kid. It's not much, it's kind of just thrown in at the beginning and that's about it. But hey, it's something. Then we get to that ending where the Grundle corners the ninja and Wu brings tomorrow's tea to age back up the Grundle to bones and restores the ninja's ages. But since Lloyd is right there, it's gonna age up Lloyd too.
He'll grow old too.
Just do it!
You'll miss out on the rest of your childhood, dude.
We can't do that to you. It's not fair.
Fair? Fair isn't a word from where I come from.
I hate to be that guy, but like, Lloyd can literally just run like that way towards Sensei. Like, just stun the Grundle with the lightsaber and get Lloyd out of there. Like, come on. But this moment is pretty iconic.
It worked!
But what about Lloyd?
I'm older.
But then that's finally it. We're done. There's technically one more, but it's kind of half and half. We won't talk about it too much, but Garmadon wants to go back in time to the pilot to stop the ninja from ever becoming the ninja, involving Nia not getting kidnapped and the ninja having to re-kidnap her, which is kind of funny.
How'd you know my name? Oh, when my brother finds out about this, you'll be sorry!
Actually, he'll be quite relieved.
It's a cool return to the pilot and likely many people's first exposure to it since the pilot isn't as accessible as the rest of the episodes, which is kind of interesting. But the thing I hate about this episode is that at the very end, they use the golden weapons to destroy the mega weapon, which sends the golden weapons and the mega weapon off to space, which they acknowledge should lead to Lloyd not existing, but he just does, and it's never explained how or why. This still bothers me even to this day, and this is why I hate time travel plots, especially when they aren't done right. But hey, at least there's a Back to the Future reference, so, you know, that just removes all criticism, I guess.
Great Scott!
From here on, Season 2 has a major improvement as stuff actually happens. Wow, imagine that. Like I said, I don't really hate these episodes in concept. I like the idea of more slice-of-life episodes, like I'm a fan of Wu's tease, this is beneath me. It's just the fact that these episodes are all next to each other, so it's just 6 straight episodes of filler episodes. If they had sprinkled them in between episodes where stuff actually happened, then it wouldn't be necessarily as bad. And I think the biggest flaw of these episodes was the mega weapon. Like the fact that Garmadon getting the golden weapons was hyped up since the pilot, and then he gets them and does stuff with it and then it's just gone. Like, that is so lame. These episodes always have had a bad taste in my mouth when I think about Season 2. But thankfully the other half of Season 2 is so good it actually does make up for it. Getting introduced to the Stone Army, which leads the ninja to the Dark Island and starts the final battle arc, which was really great. But I feel like these episodes ruin the perception of Ninjago having more lighthearted episodes or segments, as even to this day, Ninjago fans get really antsy when Ninjago does something more comedic, which we saw recently with the Lee musical number in Dragon's Rising. But not only is that Lee musical actually amazing, and if you disagree, you're wrong, but I think people have to remember that Ninjago is a Lego show at the end of the day. For kids. It's okay if Ninjago is funny, especially if it is funny. I feel like Ninjago has actually improved its comedy as of late, mainly because they know how to balance it. Comedy is great in tandem with serialization, not when it's taking a break from serialization. But what do you think about these episodes of Ninjago? Are these episodes actually good? Do they bring Season 2 down for you? And what do you think about comedy in Ninjago as a whole? Let me know down in the comments below. Make sure to tune in to my Chima video coming out very soon after this video's launch. Like, come on, we worked so hard on it. And I'll see you in the next one.